Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Peace and Neutrality. But before we get to that, let me show you this. Bam! There it is. Look at that beautiful book. This is the paperback of the book that I wrote. It's awesome. Yay. It's called Create a Life with Character. All right. It's the 4-step system that allows you to be able to show you how to discover your ultimate you. All right. And today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the conscious and the subconscious mind because it is very critical. All right. And look at that guy right there. Ooh, looks like a lollipop, right? All right, let's get into it. Today's episode in Peace and Neutrality, conscious and subconscious. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about the conscious first, and then we'll talk about the subconscious. The conscious mind. The conscious mind is a part of your awareness that involves thoughts, feelings, and perceptions you are currently aware of. It's like the tip of the iceberg, representing your immediate focus. It's important because it allows you to make decisions and solve problems and interact with the world in real time. For example, when you're learning to ride a bike, your conscious mind is actively steering and balancing while you're riding that bike. The conscious mind lays the foundation for the subconscious by feeding it information. Just as when you practice riding a bike consciously, your subconscious gradually learns the skill and stores that information for automatic recall later. And that is very important to remember. So the conscious mind is like the teacher, and the subconscious is the learner absorbing those lessons for future use. All right, let's get into the subconscious mind. Subconscious. The subconscious mind is like a hidden library of memories, beliefs, and automatic functions that influence your behavior without you actively thinking about it. It's a part of your mind that operates beneath your conscious awareness. It's important because it stores information, habits, and emotions, shaping how you respond to situations. For instance, if you're practicing kindness, your subconscious may make you naturally inclined to help others without consciously thinking about it. The subconscious is the foundation for developing characteristics because it stores repeated thoughts and behaviors, turning them into habits and shaping your personality. Imagine your mind as a garden. The conscious mind plants the seeds in your thoughts, but it's the subconscious that nurtures and grows the flowers, characteristics over time. It is very important that you put into your mind, but more importantly, how you define things before you accept them in your mind. It is very important what you put into your mind, but more importantly, how you define things before you accept them in your mind. Remember that. I talk about 3 concepts in my book to determine how to place conversations. And based on these conversations, you determine and acknowledge at the moment how to place these conversations. No different from a movie. When you've experienced life, you can distinguish the difference between what's real and what isn't real. What's nonfiction versus fiction. Now, the kicker is to consciously remember to acknowledge what you accept as real and not real. This is important and a great way to practice accepting what is true versus what is false. Now, I'm going to expand on the 3 concepts I mentioned earlier that is in my book I wrote. At least I hope it is. I'm just messing with you. It's in there. When I have a conversation with someone, there are 3 things I consider to defining a conversation, and based on that conversation, defines how I allow it to reach my subconscious. By either accepting or rejecting consciously, acknowledging if it's a fact, theory, or an opinion. The reason is because The subconscious mind is gullible and will accept any and everything you allow it to, okay? Facts are easy to accept. Theories need a little more evidence and proof that lead to the facts. Opinions are subjective and can be a belief without proven facts, so they don't really hold any weight, okay? An opinion is an opinion, and I do respect opinions, and so that's why it's very critical to acknowledge consciously, okay, I believe that. No, I don't really believe that. I need a little more evidence, okay? And we do that naturally, but you want to consciously make that an effort, okay? And that's the point. Let's continue. Remember, I talked about systems in a previous episode. This is a system I use, or a tool I use as a system to protect my mind to understand how to communicate at that moment. There is a difference between having fun and stating facts. Acknowledge what is, and it will be easier to not become emotional when a conversation takes a turn, okay? You will have a dynamic system that is versatile to help you overcome any situation. When you know your purpose, who you are, how you became this way, by being honest, transparent, and creating your harmony through experiences that are real, in turn, creating a belief system that comes from the purpose that gave you your success. When you have a story that is built on facts, action speaks louder than words. There's an old saying, faith without works is dead, okay? So whatever is dead is no longer working, all right? So remove it, right? So I ask myself, what is limiting me from working to achieve my new level of life inside of me? That limitation has to die so I can live to experience the new level of unconditional love in my life. To acknowledge my weakness so I can become a strength, and my strength become the balance in all things moving forward. Arvelle L quote. These are quotes that I have all across the book. They're declarations, they're inspirational messages, and just quotes that I've thought about to keep me in line and focused along with my system. And these are beliefs, and these are things that make me better, okay? So Arvelle L quote, we are only as good as the systems we live by. We only understand what we know, and that is why knowledge is so powerful. I will talk more about my character building system in another episode. Now, if you like what you hear, grab my book, Create a Lifestyle with Character, the 4-step system to learn how to discover the ultimate you. It has the fundamental system to help you create your own system from a system that I created. My system is all built around being dynamic and versatile. It is not the see-all, be-all. It is the seed that will allow you to be able to start moving forward to create your ultimate potential. So systems change and they evolve as you go forward. And as I mentioned before, systems are critical. Neutral systems. Setting a neutral system first lays out the foundation to be able to tweak it later once you get the statistical data that you need to grow and make yourself better. I mentioned this in my book, and this is a process that I use throughout everything I do. I learn to plan, I plan to execute, and I execute to monitor my progress so I can learn and plan again. That is the system that I use at its core. And so I always reflect back on that using the system that I've created to be able to create success in all things I do. All the best to you and yours. I'm Arvelle. This is Peace and Neutrality.